What's up, guys? So I just went to Costco. I thought I'd give you guys a help out. I mean, this costs $2.50. It costs $2.50, but I bought all of them. I bought steak and ground beef this time, so that's why I usually don't do that. And I had to restock up on rice, which you don't have to do every single time. I had to restock up on green beans. So that's the stuff I mix with some of my meats, fruits and everything like that. But all this came out to $2.50, and I want to say, like, I buy the fajita chuck meat because it's cheaper. It's only $6.99 a pound. Everything else is too expensive, and I can't afford it. But I get my protein from it, and all I do is I throw some rub on there. I throw some like this chimichurri or some bourbon steak, and I put some rub on there. I throw it on the grill, chop it up, eat in little pieces. Sometimes I mix it with rice. Throw it with the green beans. So, make things easy. My meals take no time to cook. This meat's super thin. It doesn't take very long at all to cook. I got my chickens that I'll pick clean right now, and then I'll put those in a bowl and I'll mix those with rice, or I'll put those with green beans and stuff like that. I got I get 4 dozen eggs. It fits perfectly in my refrigerator. I know it's a little bit cheaper if you buy the 5 dozen at a time, but it just doesn't fit. And so then I buy this Kirkland fully cooked bacon. You put it in the microwave for a minute in the morning, and while you're cooking your eggs, and make it super easy, super convenient, super fast, because you never have time in the morning. You're always running behind. So, but if you start to make it that there's a certain amount of time that's going to take you because you have everything timed out, and you keep repeating it all the time, that's a win in the morning. You get your protein goals, on head start. So this is how you guys got to do things. You got to do things, and you got to repeat your meals. You got most of the things you do. Throw a different, like. Don't put sauces. Don't do sauces. If you're going to do something, do a rub. Put rub, put salt and pepper, do stuff like that. Don't be putting sauces on stuff. That's why you overeat everything. I mean, if you're going to get them, try to find the best one you can with the calories and all that stuff, No sugar. Zero sugar. That's what our problem is. Zero sugar. You guys got to see. Like I said, I got a sweet tooth. So I just pile on the grapes. I buy green grapes, and I buy a little bit of red. I prefer the green. But if I eat too much of those, then my body just lets me know, and it lets you know. So I'm just saying this, you guys got to make this stuff easy. I got my fruits there. I get everything else. I got my bananas, and so this is $250. But like they said, this is the overhaul. And since I bought the steak this week, I did buy ground beef. Also, I'll put the ground beef in the freezer, and I'll eat that next week. Ground beef is super cheap, 6 pounds. That'll last you the week. Just cook it up. You don't have to pre-make every meal. You can just think it up and say, hey, this needs some ground beef. Boom, bam, and there we go. Add it to some lettuce, make a salad, do all the different things. Just be creative with stuff. Put like I said, put some seasoning on stuff. Chop up some peppers, chop up some habaneros. Make stuff spicy. Spicy is delicious. I use salsas, but make sure you use salsas that don't have sugars. Natural sugars, obviously, there's tomatoes and stuff in there. But you guys, if you're going to stick to the diet, stick to the diet. Be repetitive. But you can find cool things to do with it. You guys have a wonderful day.